Well, I think it's important that Canadians understand the kind of challenges that people with spinal cord injuries face every day just in going about their day-to-day lives. We take a lot of things for granted. Unless you've been touched by it or you're in that situation yourself, I don't think you can really appreciate the kind of challenges that they face. So it's important that Canadians realize that and realize why funding research and so on is so important.
Well, this is the 4th year that we did this particular experiential learning opportunity. We had approximately 30 MPs and senators participate, and it really gave them the opportunity during the day to experience what it's like using a wheelchair.
Giving MPs a chance to experience a day in a wheelchair is it's a neat idea. It's great to see their reactions. They're obviously very enthusiastic about it, but it's also a chance for them to maybe have their minds changed a little bit about what it's like.
People who are suffering from spinal cord injury can be affected usually for the rest of their lives and can be in a wheelchair. And I think it's important for people to get an appreciation of what that means and of the challenges they face in life.
We did an exercise over the lunch hour, an obstacle course, where they not only had to go around pylons, but to engage in various daily living exercises that gave them that experiential learning opportunity.
I was paralyzed August 22nd, 1995 in an ATV accident out in Edmonton, Alberta. After I became paralyzed, I became one of those guys who thought my life wasn't going to go anywhere, became a raging alcoholic for 2 years, and actually ended up on the streets. Eventually realized that this was the way I was going to die. Contacted the Canadian Paraplegic Association. They found me subsidization and wheelchair accessible apartment. I met a guy who introduced me to wheelchair basketball. The first practice I ever went to, I made the 1999 Canada Games team.
Well, ever since my former colleague Mike Savage was the first MP to voluntarily be in a wheelchair for the entire day, I looked at that and talked to him and I thought, well, why are you doing this? And he said to bring awareness to those with disabilities, especially in the wheelchairs, and to see how accessible the House of Commons actually is. I was fascinated by that and said, well, how can I be involved in this to do this for next year?
Those sidewalks got to be straightened out. Work on that, will you?
Yeah.
These holes in the thing, no good for wheelchairs.
That's it.
Who do I talk to?
One of the things I noticed the most looking around today was in buildings like this one and other government buildings, how frequently I saw door open buttons that didn't work. And I think that's a matter to take up with our Speaker and perhaps the Minister of Public Works.
It's really great to see MPs and people in Parliament doing things like this, because they get to see what we go through on an everyday basis and understand that it is a bit of a struggle. We make it look good, we make it look pretty easy, but it is a struggle every single day.
I think it's very good that it makes MPs more understanding of what a person faces when they're in a wheelchair. It's not going to give us the experience of knowing that for the rest of my life I'm going to be in a wheelchair. It's not going to do that, but at least it gives us a glimpse.
Hopefully they'll realize that there's people out there and parliamentarians who care about what's going on in their lives, who care that we do need to try to make a difference.
We're all just a slip away from being in a chair ourselves, and people who are in a chair, like my colleague now, Manon from Quebec, she's a paraplegic, she now uses the chair for the rest of her natural life. And we're just a slip away from being in that situation.